Yellow. Rock and roll. We'll take a little bit of a break here. Get shit set up. We'll do the next chapter. Let's see here. What do we got? Chapter 8. Let's see here. I got so many fucking windows open right now. It's ridiculous. Hey! What do you say? What do you say? Let's see here. Where am I? Is that it? There it is. The ADL Peddles the New Age. Almost done with the whole damn book. Alright, let me close that. And let me get this over here. Let's see, wrong window. There you go. Alright. Hey. No worries, no worries. Thanks, bad gooooooy. I'm fucking tired now too, man. I just took a little kratom though. Maybe that'll pump me up a little bit. What's up? Little bit low? How's this? Let's see. I could turn it up a notch. Should be good. Boom. Alright. Let me pop this chat out for a sec real quick. Okay. Let's see here. Bad gooooooy, I'm giving you a wrench. Boom. You're now my wrenchman. And my henchman. How's the volume? 1 for good. 2 for too loud. 3 for needs a little bit more. Alright, we're good to go. Scrawny Raisin says it's good. Scrawny Raisins. Jesse T is here. Nebula Beatniks. Of course, we got Marge Talica in the house. Let's see who else we got. Woo! Yeah, I was talking about that. Hold up, did I just stop the chat there? Alright, there we go. I was talking about this fucking guy going for the Supreme Court, right? Let's see, where is he? This guy here is fucking goy. Look at him. Look at that cheese-eating fucking bastard. Look at him. I got nothing against him other than the fact that they ain't gonna ask him any tough questions. What's up with that? They got this whole thing about, oh, sexual improprieties. Meanwhile, back at the farm, look at this. Look at this shit. This guy, let me close this window up a little bit so you can see. See if I can shrink it down a little bit and bring it in. Now look at this. Kirkland Ellis. This is the firm this guy works for. Kirkland Ellis, the 3rd highest grossing law firm in the world. Watch this. We go down to the bottom, alright? I'm gonna blow somebody up. See this guy? Viet Din. You see him? See my man? You know what he did? Anybody? Anybody guess? Do you know what he did? What's it say there? That's the motherfucker that wrote the Patriot Act. This guy is a colleague of this Kavanaugh guy. Alright? Let's go back to Kavanaugh's page. Look at this. What's it say? Let's see. What's it say right there, highlighted? Oh. What's that? He worked with NSA against our Fourth Amendment rights? Look at this. Right here. Huh? Fourth Amendment. He said, don't worry. It's not spying. Let the NSA have whatever they want. How come nobody's asking that question? What? Can somebody tell me why they're not asking that question and they're talking about some ass he might have gotten 40 years ago? Come on, man. Come on, man. Well, of course he's suspect. They're all suspect. If we got a lefty in, that would be fucking almost worse. But who knows? I don't know. I can't call it. You know what I'm saying? What do we got here? How about Clinton when he was going? Right? Whitewater, did they talk about that? No. They talked about Monica Lewinsky giving him a head job, right? How about the Chinese guys giving him money? They talk about that? No. They talked about him getting a knob job, right? How about, what do we got here? How about Vince Foster? Dude ended up committing quote-unquote suicide, right? Yeah, no, let's talk about Monica Lewinsky and how good of a knob she pops. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the load on her shirt. Excuse me, ladies. I apologize for getting graphic, but I'm pissed off. All right, what is this? How about Clarence Thomas? Remember he was going for Supreme Court? Oh, yeah, let's talk about Anita Hill. Let's not talk about the fact that he's all fucking lawyered up for Monsanto. No, no, no. Let's not mention that. You know what I'm saying? GDL, Marge Talica already heard all this. But I got to go over it since I got you guys in. Monsanto and the FDA, EPA revolving door. Oh, I work for Monsanto today. Oh, tomorrow I work for the FDA. Oh, the day after that, I work for Monsanto again. You see, it's just a fucking trick play. But let's talk about Anita Hill. Let's talk about Monica Lewinsky. And let's talk about this ugly-ass bitch that nobody wanted to fuck even 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. With this shit. Come on, man. I ain't beat for this shit. You know what I mean? Can you feel me barking? Can you feel me barking? How about this fucking... Look, let me show you this. Look at this. Alright, you ready? Racist ADL hits African Americans. See those dudes, that channel we just hit? They ain't hip to this yet. Maybe they are, but if they are, they're letting their hate for white people blind them. You know what I'm saying, Edward? James Edward? Come on, man! Can I get a come on, man? Shit, my office is spiff and span. Look at that shit. Look at that. This shit ain't my office anyway, so I just broke in here and just started live streaming. Know what I'm saying? Fuck it. That's how we do. Yeah, the only whitewater they talked about was the whitewater on Monica's dress. That's the only whitewater we got. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Scrawny Raisin. Thank you. Sticking up for a brother. Come on, man. With that. I'm tidy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think the Kratom's hitting. I think it's hitting. I think we're going to have a nice little stream here. Let's see what we got. Here you go. You guys, anybody into stoicism? What's stoicism, you say? Ah. Y'all don't know about that there. Y'all don't know about that there. Well, try another time. I'll tell you about that. It's my philosophy that changed my whole fucking life because I used to be a big-time hothead. You know what I'm saying, Scron? I'm part Irish, James. I'm Irish, Italian, I'm French, and I'm English. Yeah, I got all kind of shit in me. So what they're saying is, look, it's not manly for a man to lose control of himself. Right? That's a bitch. When you lose your temper to the point where you're snapping out and you're flipping out and you're breaking shit. You might feel like a man. I know, I've been through it. I done did it. Breaking shit and snapping out, losing your cool. That's not manly. That's all they're saying. It's hard. It's hard, though, to work on temper. So, let's take a look at this right here. The ADL pushes and peddles the new age. See if we can blow that up for my peoples. Alright, how's that? A little better, a little better? Alright. So we're getting down toward the end of the book here, man. God damn. So this book here has been just blowing up the ADL. Look, let me show you something about the ADL. Yes, I do my research. Look at this. ADL pushes anti-black hate literature. ADL. ADL faction in American history. The Get LaRouche task force. I got all kind of shit on the ADL. They want to police YouTube? They want to police YouTube? They want to tell us about what's good and right and what's wrong? And get the fuck out of here. We got that. Look, I got a whole thing. Goes back to, see up there in the upper left-hand corner, it says EIR issues from 1974 all the way up. I got volumes of shit. Yes, red pillared stoicism teaches you how to deal with anger. That's true. All right, let me give you. Let me see you guys for a second. The basic idea is this: if someone can just make you angry, like today, being triggered is the whole thing, right? Oh, I'm triggered. I couldn't help the way I acted because I was triggered. The fact of the matter is, it's up to you whether you get angry or not. It doesn't matter what it is. Oh, well, he pissed me off, so that's why I flipped out. Now, you have a choice, and it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. It's easy to say. You get the concept. It's easy to understand the concept, but it's hard to practice it in real life. And so what you do is you look for opportunities in life, things that normally would trigger you, and you use it as practice. So the idea being that you should be thankful when something triggers you, because then it's an opportunity to practice self-control, right? Because a man should have control of himself. Girls, women, ladies, you guys know about the shit test, right? Every man knows about the shit test, right? It's not like they do it on purpose all the time. Sometimes they do, but women do it instinctively, right? They kind of push you a little bit with that passive-aggressive shit, and they want to see like how you handle yourself. Well, a real man doesn't snap, doesn't feed into it. Once in a while, he gets a little angry, but then he reels himself back in. That's it. You don't know what the shit test is, Scrawny? It's when your girl starts needling you, and she's seeing what kind of man you are, how you're going to react, right? How do you handle? Like, if you can't handle a little shit test from your girlfriend, then you're not going to be able to be the kind of man that can handle real shit in life, like real problems. So if you can handle her shit tests, then you just might be able to handle real shit. So, ADL, all this shit on the ADL. Let me hook that up so you can see it. Look at this. ADL is a right-wing racist hate group. These are the people policing YouTube. Racist ADL hits African Americans. ADL, FBI, racist conspiracy against America, right? But they're the ones telling us that we're racist, right? So when we point something out about the Jews, oh, you're racist. You're anti-Semitic. It's like an ADL shit test. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Can I get a come on, man? Can I get a come on, man? Circle of Fifth says God does not exist. But how do you define God? How do you define God, right? See, I say God does exist because to me, God is the universe. And nobody could tell me the universe doesn't exist. Come on, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you with the come on, man. Look, I was one of the biggest atheists in that 10 years ago in that YouTube thing where everybody wanted to be an atheist and was ragging on religion. That was me. I'm sorry. It was me. I was being immature. And I leave those videos up to remind myself of how I've grown as a person. God is watching. My God doesn't think. He doesn't plan. My God's not even male. I don't know why I said he. But I have a creator, right? It was my mom and my dad. They came and they created me. But what created them? Well, the earth, right? What created the earth? Well, the sun. What created the sun? Well, it was our galaxy, the Milky Way. What created the Milky Way galaxy? That was the black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy, right? Well, what created that? Well, now we're getting into some shit that I don't know. You could go all the way back to the Big Bang and say, well, it's the Big Bang created everything. Well, what created the Big Bang? And you see how you go into an infinite regress, right? At some point, you got to either say the universe always existed or a God always existed. But if a God always existed, then where did he come from? Was he just sitting there in the dark looking around like, yeah, I just always existed. Even though I don't know where I came from, I was just always here. Doesn't make sense. So I just say the universe was always here. That's my creator. Can I get a... Oh, man. All right, let's jump into it. Let's read this shit. Put it this way, though. All seriousness, all kidding aside. I got enough information on the ADL to do live streams every night for the next year. I swear to God. But I'm also doing, as soon as I'm done this book, I'm going back to do Henry Ford's International Jew. Big time. Do Jews hate Jesus? Man, Jews hate everybody. The Jews that we're talking about, like I have a best friend I've known for 33 years. He's a half a Jew. Well, actually, his mother was Jewish, so that makes him Jewish, right? He doesn't own J.P. Morgan, right? He doesn't own Wall Street firms, right? So, that's where I draw the line. By the way, I'm not all for saying crude shit about Jews and saying shit about ovens and all that. For the record, I don't do all that shit. I try to keep it on the up and up. Alright, let's go. Let's read this shit. The ADL peddles the New Age. In the summer of 1989, the entire world was reeling in shock and horror over the discovery of a satanic burial ground on a ranch in Matamoros, Mexico. Dozens of mutilated, cannibalized corpses were discovered. Now hold up, wait a minute. How they know they was cannibalized? Were there teeth marks in the fucking bodies? Or was their skin cut off? Meat just cut off, like, did they have like some limbs that had barbecue sauce on them still? How do they know that they were cannibalized? I don't know. It is fucked up, right, soldier? Let's make it a little bigger here. Boom. In the summer of 1989, the entire world was reeling in shock and horror over the discovery of satanic burial ground on a ranch in Mexico. Dozens of mutilated, cannibalized corpses were discovered. The grisly details of the kidnapping and human sacrifice of one of the cult's victims, Texas college student Mark Kilroy. Oh, that's a unfortunately named person, Mr. Kilroy. Prompted Texas state legislators to draft a law stiffening the penalties for satanic ritualistic crimes and making it a criminal offense to conduct certain occult rituals. The governor of Texas convened a special session of the legislature to get the bill passed. The ADL, while peddling bills all across the country that would make it a crime to think anti-Semitic thoughts, launched an all-out effort to defeat the Texas crackdown on satanic crimes, branding the bill anti-Semitic. Oh my God, everything is anti-Semitic these days. They jumped the shark with this anti-Semitic shit. You guys know the actress Natalie Portman? Right? So Natalie Portman got some frickin' whatever award from Israel. Israel says, yo, Natalie, come get this award, dog. She was like, listen. And all power to her. She's like, I don't want an award from a country that shoots little Palestinian kids in the face. And so guess what? Israel called Natalie Portman, a Jewish woman, they called her anti-Semitic. That's how you know this shit has jumped the shark. Anti-Semitic doesn't mean anything anymore. So if somebody calls me anti-Semitic, I'll say, yeah, whatever. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. But like the other guy we got, I don't know if he's here tonight. He said, don't call me late for supper, right? I don't care. Call me anti-Semitic. Call me racist. I don't care. Because when you say, oh no, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm not racist, then you give power to that word. You give power to the person who says these things, right? If they say you're racist, say, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm whatever you want me to be. I don't care. But I'm calling the truth out the way I see it. So, the ADL says that cracking down on satanic occult cannibalism crimes is anti-Semitic. In its jaded logic, the ADL claimed that technically, the bill made it illegal for rabbis to perform circumcisions on infants. Yo, by the way, little too much info, but they scalped me, dog. And I don't think that's right. I didn't get a chance to have a choice. They genetically, they mutilated my genitalia. I didn't ask for that. How fucked up is that, right? So, if they were out there mutilating the genitals of girls, oh, they wouldn't stand for that, right? If they were taking out the bean and the speed bag, that would be bad. But you can chop down my soldier, and that's okay. That's fucked up. Did you know in the Bible? Who knows about this? Do you guys know about what it was about circumcision? Was so important? Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat that knows why this circumcision, why they did it? Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, late for supper. All their slaves had to be circumcised. What's that tell you? Circumcision is for slaves. Ding, 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 ding. Winner. Hygiene, I don't know. It might be clean, but give me the opportunity to make my own choice about it, right? Maybe I want some schmegma around the helmet. You know what I mean? That's my choice. You know, can I get a come on, man? That's fucked up. You take a baby and you cut the skin off. Nah, come on. That's disgusting. So, according to the Bible, you had to be circumcised to be accepted by God. God wants you to cut off the tip of your joint. That's fucked up, man. That is just fucked up. Hey, you guys remember the Bible story where the guy bought somebody's daughter with a bag full of circumcised foreskins? Do you remember that? It's disgusting. The Old Testament, he was trying to buy somebody's daughter. The guy was like a king or something. Can anybody help me on that story? Yeah, schmegma's fucking nasty. He went and he killed their army, killed this other army, and they circumcised them all. And the dude bought a bag of foreskins and dumped them out in front of the guy and bought this girl for a bag of foreskins. I mean, you can't even buy a pack of gum with a bag of foreskins these days. All right, let's get back to it. All right, okay. So, they were worried about this crackdown on satanic shit because they said it's anti-Semitic because now rabbis can't mutilate the genitals of little children. These sick fuckers. And then we know what they do afterwards. And they suck the blood out of that, right? Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Goyim Unite. If God wanted us to have a cut schlong, he'd have made it that way. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get moving on. The vast majority of the Jewish community in Texas, including many leading rabbis, refused to buy into the ADL's twisted interpretation and supported the bill. Good for them. You know, more power to them. Some people began to smell a rat. And They were right. Not only has the League been an integral part of the organized crime structure that has wrecked America's youth through the peddling of drugs, but as a pivotal institution within the Scottish Rite Freemasonry Southern jurisdiction, you know, the one that Albert Pike started, the ADL has been a part of the century-old effort to paganize America under a variety of labels: secular humanism, new religions, and most recently, the New Age. I'm sure you guys have heard of this shit. It's part of that moral, what do they call it? Anybody help me with that? Moral relativism. Thank you, Chap. Not surprisingly, as investigators probed the higher levels of the New Age plot, they found that the New York City Cathedral of St. John the Divine, the headquarters of ADL patrons Bishop Paul Moore and Canon Edward West, was at the very center of the paganization effort. While nominally part of the Anglican Protestant Episcopal persuasion, the cathedral was actually the underground headquarters of the Luciferian movement in America. All right, let's check the chat. What's going on? Come on, man. Luciferian. By the way, was anybody here when I showed the difference between Lucifer and Satan? There's a difference. We'll get into it another time. Let's see, who's saying what here? Shit. Outlaw circumcision. Yes. We shouldn't even have to outlaw something that's that fucking horrible. Been uncircumcised for 40 years. Have never had a problem. Tell him, Edgar. So you're Spanish, so you got your schmegma. More power to you, bro. You got pizza with extra cheese. You know what I'm saying? All right. To the girls in the chat. On a flaccid penis, what looks better? Circumcised or uncircumcised? Girls only. Girls only. 1 for circumcised and 2 for uncircumcised. What looks better? Flaccid, because when it's erect, you're not going to tell the difference anyway. So, I want to hear from the girls. There's a little bit of delay, so I'll wait. To the girls, what looks nicer on a flaccid penis? Circumcised or uncircumcised? He said soldier. Oh, damn, Blitz, that's not nice. All right, the girls don't want to answer. I think there are only 2 girls in here anyway. It's like a big sausage party. A big circumcised sausage party. All right, Marge, we'll give you that. Understood. No worries. The look is irrelevant. Are you a girl, Red Pillar? Damn, you flexing, huh? Sweet. Alright. I don't know why I asked that. I'm a deviant. Okay. Here we go. Guys, thanks for being here. Let's get back to this shit. Killing the Judeo-Christian tradition. Since 1948, when Israel was born, the ADL has devoted over 1/3 of its legal efforts to support activity that may rightfully be called the plot to kill God. The ADL has filed dozens of amicus curiae, friend of the court, briefs, in legal cases often settled by the U.S. Supreme Court, whose results have included banning school prayer, banning released time for religious instruction, banning Christmas carols and spirituals, banning celebration of Judeo-Christian holidays, and most recently, banning the Bible as unfit for the classroom, causing federal, state, and local governments to be neutral on religious issues, as well as compelling them to cease participation in any display of art associated with the Christian religion, whether during a religious holiday season or other time, and banning prayers in courtrooms together with religious oaths for courts and government officials. So what you have here is an absolute attack on religion. Now, I used to be part of that atheist thing in YouTube, right? I'm not a Christian anymore. I was a born again Christian. I'm not a Christian anymore. But can anybody tell me why they're attacking religion? All right? Why are they attacking religion? It's because religion in America used to, even though there are different sects of Christianity, most people in the different, Baptist, Episcopalian, all that, they bond together and band together under one banner that unites people. They want people divided. They want people divided on lines of race, religion, circumcised or uncircumcised, male, female, gay, straight. They want to drive a wedge in between us. And that's what the GDL is awesome, because they're bringing people together. Doesn't matter. Like, I have my problems with certain groups of people, but when it comes to the GDL, I leave that shit somewhere else, right? I leave it at the door. When I come here, it's all about unity with the group. I don't care, circumcised, uncircumcised, whatever. Schmegma, no schmegma. You guys get the point. But they want to divide people. That's what it's all about, the attack on Christianity. Matter of fact, boom, I was showing this earlier. Memoirs illustrating the history of Jacobinism. Part 1, the anti-Christian conspiracy. This was in 1780s, 1790s. This is what stoked the French Revolution. Why did they attack religion first? Because religion is what bonded everybody in Europe together during the Crusades, right? There were differences between all the different countries, between all the different kings, but they got together under one banner, and that was Christianity. So whether you believe in God, whether you don't, this Christianity really was something that held us together, and they ripped out the rug from underneath of us. They took prayer out of the schools. They just totally attacked Christianity. But when Christmas comes, there's a giant menorah on the lawn in D.C. in front of the White House. Now, what's up with that? Oh, you want to take away everybody else's religion, but you put up a giant menorah. Why are we not fucking screaming about that? It's ridiculous. It's not right. Religion is cohesion. Religion can divide people too. But overwhelmingly, it was a positive. It was more of a positive. Matter of fact, part 2 of this was the anti-monarchical conspiracy, where they attacked all the monarchs. Right? So they came after the church. They took out the monarchs. And the third one of these, the third volume, is the anti-social conspiracy, where they divided people along lines of everything in social. Happy holidays, Goyim. Fuck you, man. Fucking happy holidays. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Fox News is right, man. They're attacking Christmas, man. But they don't say who's attacking Christmas and why they're attacking Christmas. All this shit is an attack on our unity. Alright, I'm on a rant fucking rage right now. So, while the ADL has concentrated upon uprooting the traditions of Western Christian civilization from public life, for example, by throwing Christianity out the front door of the schools, it has not protested as New Age religion has been ushered in the back door now to permeate society. So they attacked Christianity, threw it out the front door, but they let the New Age bullshit come in the back door. It's fucked up. In fact, while condemning any manifestation of Christianity at every turn, the ADL has used First Amendment arguments in court and elsewhere to defend witchcraft and peyote cults. It's a hallucinogen derived from a type of cactus. Alright, real quick poll. Completely agree about that. Even in my country, 80% Christian. The Secretary of Culture just carved and ate a real scale cake representing Jesus. It's terrible. It's terrible. There's no respect for that shit anymore. And you know what? If the Christians don't stand up and oppose it vehemently, they're going to keep walking on you and stepping on you and treating you like shit. All right, quick poll. How many people in here have done some type of hallucinogen? Hit 1 for yes, 2 for no. Anybody here hallucinogens? Anybody? How many here have done hallucinogens in the past? I'm 46. I'm old. I've done been around the block. I've been to 10 Grateful Dead shows. What's that tell you? All right. I won't answer, says Blitz. That's a yes. Scrawny Raisin says, I don't know what numbers are. Marge says, hell no. Mass One says, hell no. Scrawny Ronnie. Yep. Okay. I have it muted, but I'm going with 1. Okay. Okay. Just curious, that's all. I ain't saying anything about it. Just saying that I'm interested. The ADL has not acted alone in this drive to paganize America. It has enjoyed the assistance of some friends in very high places, including the highest court in the land. It began in earnest February the 10th, 1947, when Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black rendered the majority opinion in the case of Everson versus Board of Education, period. Black, who was a lifelong member of the KKK and a 33rd degree member of the southern jurisdiction of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, enshrined the following phrase, quote, in the words of Jefferson, the clause against establishment of religion by law was intended to erect a wall of separation between church and state. Okay, now, I have since learned, I was this whole atheist thing. I was into all that, but I have to admit, this whole wall of separation shit is bullshit. What the clause says, what this clause in the Constitution says, is that the government shall not promote any religion over any others. The government should just stay out. It doesn't say a wall of separation. It says that they shall not promote any religion. That's it. You can't promote one religion over another. So, no good. During the period of time when the attention of the court seemed to focus on religion clause cases, roughly 1949 to 1956, 7 members of the craft served, that's Freemasonry, served on the court along with a former Mason, Justice Sherman Minton. There was something I wanted to say. I forgot. Let me see if I can remember. The KKK. Well, we know who started the KKK. Yes, it was the Democrats, but it was Freemasonry in particular. Okay. Masons continued to dominate the court while most of the decisions to uproot Christianity were made until 1971. The southern jurisdiction of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, to which the preponderance of Supreme Court justices belonged from the period of 1939 to 1971, is the self-described New Age jurisdiction. Any surprise, the people on the Supreme Court, Freemasons. Oh, I wonder, is Kavanaugh a Freemason? Let's find out. Let's see if we can find out. Right? Let's try. I'm the slowest typer ever. It's pathetic. Okay. Boom. Let's see. Brett Kavanaugh is a Freemason. Skull and Bones exposed. No, don't tell me. He went to Skull and Bones? Oh, I gotta know that. Let's see here. Boom. Kavanaugh, Skull and Bones. Did he really go to Yale? Oh, shit. No. Oh, no. The fix is in, boys. The fix is in. The Yale secret society Brett Kavanaugh joined was mostly about drinking. Yale alumni say. Yeah, okay. Right. Uh-huh. Oh, wait a minute. He was in a secret society at Yale called Truth and Courage. Not Skull and Bones. Okay, that's a little different, but still. I don't trust him. Look at him. Does he look trustworthy, this guy? Did you guys see any of the hearings where he did his fake cry? He said, I love these girls that supported me. And I had 53 girls who said thank you. And come on, man. This guy's a phony. He's a phony. And a lefty wouldn't be any better. They're all phonies, these people. Okay. As Paul A. Fisher aptly demonstrates in his book Behind the Lodge Door, the original intent of the religious establishment clause by the founding fathers who shaped this constitutional instrument was to guard against the states establishing a theocracy of the Roman cult variety that would persecute those practicing the tenets of Western Christian civilization upon which the Republic had been founded. Wow, that's a mouthful. This book ain't no joke. Yet, through Justice Black's Wall decision in Everson and hundreds of subsequent federal, state, and local rulings, a Manichaean religious cult is on the verge of establishing a new age theocracy in the U.S. today. We got to take it to the dictionary, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take it to the dictionary. Let's see here. Be right with you here. Boom. Boom. Let's see if we could do this. Hold on a minute. Let me see. I gotta bring up my dictionary real quick. The Manichaean. We gotta look that up. I think Manichaean has to do with good versus evil and all that shit. Let's see what we got. Hey, ding ding. Drinks, everybody. Let's see here. Dictionary. Dictionary. Let's see. Manichaean. Manichaean. No. Oh, come on now. Did I spell it incorrectly here? No. Oh, yes, I did. C-H-E. E. Come on, man. All right, we got to take it. We got to take it to the interwebs. Come on now. The ugly truth about the ADL. Okay. Sorry about the delay. I'm a nerd. I need to know. Manichaean. Okay. There you go. Manichaean. Relating to Manichaeism. Alright, that's all. No more to see here. An adherent of Manichaeism. Let's see. Can I get a little bit of something better than that? Jesus Christ. Manichaeism. Between good and evil. There you go. It's a dualistic cosmology describing the struggle between a good spiritual world of light and an evil material world of darkness. So, your wonderful host got it kind of right. Alright, back to the shit. Damn, that shit is large and in charge. Okay. So Manichaean is a Manichaean religious cult is one that concentrates on this theoretical battle between good and evil, this simplistic look at the world. Right? Okay. The Founding Fathers were deeply religious, and whatever problems may have existed in that regard, they believed that each individual had been created in imago viva Dei, in the living image of God, with a divine spark of reason, which they expressed in the principle that all men are created equal under God. The fallacy of the wall of separation cult, which your good host pointed out to you earlier, dogma, is shown by the Northwest Ordinance passed in 1987 and readopted in 1789, which provided that, quote, religion, morality, and knowledge being necessary to good government and the happiness of mankind, schools and the means of education shall be unconstitutional. Is that right? No. Shall be forever encouraged. Shall forever be encouraged. And in his farewell address to the nation in 1796, which you could probably find that on my channel too, because I'm a nerd. I can't help it. President G. Dubs declared that, quote, religion and morality are indispensable supports for political prosperity, unquote, and warned that we could not expect, quote, that national morality can prevail in the exclusion of religious principle, unquote. So what he's saying is religion and morality are indispensable, and that national morality can't prevail if you exclude religious principle. Okay. Undoubtedly, Justice Hugo Black's Masonically dominated court would have found these sentiments to be unconstitutional. All right, I got a little something to say about the Founding Fathers and religion. There were some Christians, yes. Overwhelmingly, they were Freemasons. Freemasons say God. Like I was talking about, I worship God. I believe in God, right? But I defined it as something different. I defined it as the universe. So I used to be a hardcore atheist. If you'd asked me, do you believe in God? I would just automatically say no. I don't believe in God. And if they say, are you an atheist? I would say yes. I'm since a little smarter, and I don't adopt labels. I don't like the label atheist because people can stigmatize you, and they can make you put you into a little box, and then they can do away with you thinking they know everything you think. My policy now is if somebody asks me what religion I am, or if they ask me if I believe in God, I'll just say yes and leave it at that. 99 times out of 100, that person will assume that I mean the God that they worship and will feel comfortable with me and never ask me. If in the event I get that one person out of 100 that says, well, what do you mean by God? Then I would go and say, my God is the universe. That's my creator. I have a creator, right? These guys, a lot of them believed in a God, something like that. The Freemasonic God could be Lucifer. It could be the great architect, but it is not the Christian God. Okay, so this guy LaRouche, who wrote this, he's twisting the truth a little bit. And by the way, it's not a Christian nation, because in the Treaty of Tripoli, they specifically said that this is not a Christian nation and never has been. Okay, moving on. How many people we got in here? 37 watching. Okay, that's good. I'm happy with that. Freemason God is Hiram Abiff. Yeah, and Hermes Trismegistus. You ever heard of hermetically sealed? Hiram Abiff had something to do with Solomon's temple, right? Am I right? Hiram Abiff was said to be the architect of Solomon's temple, according to them. Is that right? Hit me up, Mass One. Just read Albert Pike's book. My man Bluntman says he'll tell you everything in his book. Bluntman, I read it. And they do worship Lucifer. But they define Lucifer as the planet Venus. They don't believe in Satan like the Christian Satan. They don't think it's real. He says it specifically in the book. And he makes fun of Christian people who believe in Satan. He calls them the profane, which is like an intellectual way of a put down. They believe in Lucifer, which is the planet Venus, aka the son of the morning, the light bearer. You know how they say we are illuminated with the light? It's the light bearer. It's Lucifer. It's a long story. But I'll tell you that Morals and Dogma is the longest, most abstruse, and esoteric book you could ever want to frickin' read. As a matter of fact, let's see. Don't I have it up? No. I thought I had it up. Let's see. Oh. There it is. There it is. Look. Let me put you on to it. There it is. See, I was reading it just the other day. Morals and Dogma. Boom. Boom. Let's see. I'll go back to the beginning so you can see. Morals and Dogma of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. He goes through every level. First he does a little intro. Then he starts right here at the first. This is the first level of Freemasonry right here. It's Saturn. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that, Blunt Man. I don't know about the Saturn connection. So I gotta study up on that shit. But yeah, there's something definitely going on with Jewish people and Saturn. Yup. Blunt Man is exactly right. Blunt Man, you've been studying, bro. You got your knowledge up, my friend. That's what's up. Alright, so back to this text. Where is it? There you are. We're having a nice little stream here. We got some crazy shit we're talking about. These people are crazy, so that's what it is. Alright, the Founding Fathers were deeply religious. We already read that. He says they were deeply religious. I question what the religion was. Undoubtedly, Justice Hugo Black's Masonically dominated court would have found these sentiments to be unconstitutional. Oh, by the way, if at the end of this stream you guys want to hear me play a song dedicated to an ex-girlfriend who smoked too much, let me know. If I'm feeling it, maybe I'll do it. Hit 1 if you want to hear the song. Hit 2 if you want me to shut the fuck up. Bad gooey, what you gonna do? Uh-oh. They're making me do it. Late for supper. Nebula Beatnik says, come on, do it. By the way, guys, you know what a nebula is? It's where stars are born. That's right. That's right. I'll tell you what, all kidding aside, you guys, I gotta give you credit. Most of the people that come into these streams got their knowledge up. And if they don't know something, they ask. And if they can't find it out, they'll ask somebody, they'll look it up themselves. That's what's up. That's what's up. The Star Trek symbol for the Spock. Oh, I'm sorry. The Star Trek symbol the Spock does with his hand is a Freemason symbol. I bet, I bet. I'm not doubting you, Blunt Man. You got your knowledge up. Let's see. Alright, give me 2 seconds. I gotta turn this air up. I'm dying over here. Give me 2 seconds. I get some water. Whew. Bad gooey. What you gonna do? Oh, man. Guys, thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it. Ah, it feels good. A little air. As Justice Black's son said of him, he was a man who, quote, could not whip himself up to a belief in God or the divinity of Christ, life after death, or heaven or hell, unquote. When he first ran for the U.S. Senate, public condemnation compelled Black on July the 9th, 1925 to, quote, retire from the Robert E. Lee Klan #1, but he closed his letter of resignation to the Kleegrap secretary, saying, yours is the sacred, unbreakable bond, unquote. Guys, that was a quote within a quote. I'm tired of saying quote. Know what I'm saying? I gotta admit, I had to retire from the KKK too. Come on, man! Having won election, Black participated in a secret Klan ceremony witnessed by investigative reporter Ray Springle, or Spriggle, fucked up ass name, on September the 2nd, 1926, where Senator Black was welcomed back to the Klan with a grand passport of life membership at the Birmingham, Alabama State Klan meeting. Hold on. You telling me they had Klans members in Alabama? I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Alright, at the ceremony, Black swore never to divulge, even under threat of death, the secrets of the invisible empire. So this guy's a judge, right? Wrapped up in all this bullshit. Remember, the KKK came out of Freemasonry. The KKK came out of Freemasonry. Freemasonry gave birth to the B'nai B'rith. It gave birth to the Klan. It's given birth to the ADL. It has spawned many little webs that go in all directions. This fabric where if you pull one thread, everything comes undone. Under threat of death, he said, I swear I will most zealously and valiantly shield and preserve by any and all justifiable means and methods, ... that means they left something out, white supremacy, ... ellipsis, they left something out, all to which I have sworn by this oath I will seal with my blood, be thou my witness, Almighty God. Amen. Now wait a minute. They just got done saying his son said he didn't believe in God, but he just swore to Almighty God. Different kind of God, right? Okay. Ironically, although once you pop, you can't stop, Springle's truthful articles were carried in all the major papers. It was the two flagship journals of American liberalism, The Nation and The New Republic, that chose to believe Black's denials that he was a Klan member in the 1920s in a scandal that continued after President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, son of opium smugglers, appointed Senator Black to the Supreme Court in 1937. So what they're saying is that they chose to believe Black when he said, I was never in the KKK, man. I can't even spell KKK. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. And FDR appointed him to the Supreme Court anyway in 1937. Let's see. Let's check the chat. What's going on in the chat? What are you crazy people doing in the chat? Let's see. I like crazy people, by the way. And Monaco is a sovereign nation. My city was designed to be a backup federal capital. Why is Kronos the god of time? Y'all on some other shit. Reason why the Eagles won last year, the flag was made there. Dude, I swear to God, if they fired everyone in the NFL, took in all new players, and made God himself the commissioner, I would still never watch that shit again. They could kiss my ass. Fuck that. Blunt man, tell them how long I watch football. How long you watch football? No more, never again, ever, ever again. 30 plus years, every Sunday, watching that shit. And guess what? Now I do something with my Sundays. Now I can enjoy my Sundays. I want my foreskin back. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Although, at this point, I'm 46 years old. They can keep the foreskin. It's probably not in too great of a condition now. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Alright, fortifying the wall. Are we talking Trump here? Are we talking Trump? Alright, guys, give you a little perspective. This book was written in 1990 to 92, somewhere in there. Alright, fortifying the wall. They're talking about the wall of separation between religion and the state. Okay. The ADL has been among the strongest upholders of lifelong KKK member and Mason Justice Hugo Black's wall of separation decision, beginning a year after the 1947 Everson versus Board of Education opinion containing this new language. A history of that involvement can be found in the ADL's pamphlet, Friend to the Court, 1947 and 1982, to secure justice and fair treatment for all, by Jill Donnie Snyder and Eric K. Goodman. This is H.A. Goodman, and thank you very much. Send me some Patreon, and go fuck yourself. H.A. Goodman, I remember I watched his channel for a little bit there. I unsubbed so fast, I pulled his stomach out with it. You know what I'm saying? Alright, quote, since 1948, ADL has filed amicus briefs in practically every major church-state case, consistently arguing for a strict interpretation of the Establishment Clause. ADL continues to work for a strict separation of church and state, a commitment that dates back to the League's first involvement in an Establishment Clause dispute, McCollum versus Board of Education. In the Everson opinion, the court emphasized in strong language the parameters of the Establishment Clause. ADL stands firmly committed to a strict separation between church and state, except for that big-ass menorah we got on the White House lawn. We could keep that. You know what I'm saying? The wall of separation must be fortified and strengthened so that the religious freedom dreamed of by Jefferson. Notice how they paint that bullshit. And the other founding fathers may endure now and forever an example to the world. So, when I hear that, guys, when I hear that the ADL wants a separation of church and state, I want the opposite. By the way, I'm of the opinion that the federal government shouldn't be telling localities what they can do with their fucking church or with their school, right? So if you live in a small town, the people in that small town should vote on what kind of school they want and what kind of curriculum they want. Shouldn't be dictated to by the federal government to give you this common core, the lowest common denominator. It should be up to the locality on how they want to do it. So if you live in a rural, bucolic little area in the South and you want it to be super Christian, you should have it super Christian, the way they want it. Education is right. The people who live in that locality should vote on what they want, and that's what they should have. And they should teach them whatever they want to teach them. That's the way I feel. What do you guys say? One, if the federal government should dictate to people, or two, if localities should have freedom of choice. That's a layup. All right, everybody just hit two. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Bye. School is all full of lies. Totally. It's just bullshit, man. All it is indoctrination. And these days, if you're white, they teach you how to hate your own race. You're evil, you're racist, and hate yourself. It's all bullshit. I leave the race part away from the GDL. But make no mistake, white people are under attack in this country. They need to stand up. Among the actions in which the ADL has been the historic friend of a Masonically dominated court and of KKKer Justice Black's wall interpretation of the Establishment Clause are, number 1, released time. From the 1948 McCollum case until the present day, the ADL has fought released time from school. What is that? What is released time? Released time. Well, maybe we'll find out. The ADL has fought release time from schools, which gives a release for students to participate in religious education. That's right, they should. If they want religious education, they should have access to what they want. It shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all, you know? One of the most recent cases was Doe versus Human. What? Which was affirmed when the Supreme Court refused to hear it, and in which the ADL had filed an amicus brief. Guys, we're going there. We're going there. Let's see here. Dictionary. Boom. Boom. Dictionary. Okay. Let's get this money right. I don't know how I got on Manatee, but that's alright. Let's do amicus brief. Amicus. An impartial, here you go. An impartial advisor, often voluntary, to a court of law in a particular case. He was planning to advance this position in an amicus brief. Let me check it out on here. I gotta know. I gotta know what an amicus brief is. If you guys already know, more power to you. You the man. I don't know. Amicus briefs are nice fitting boxers. No, okay, alright. Are legal documents filed in an appellate court, that's an appeals court, in appellate court cases by non-litigants with strong interest in the subject matter. The briefs advise the court of relevant additional information or arguments that the court might wish to consider. So an amicus brief, I'm not a litigant, but I can file an amicus brief with the court. And an appellate court, which means an appeals court. So that means if there's a court case what you're not involved in, you're not a litigant, it's an appeals court, you can just file an amicus brief with the court to inform or educate the court on certain matters if you have an interest, a strong interest in the subject matter. So, can you see where that would be abused? Okay. Alrighty. One of the most recent cases was Doe versus Human. It was affirmed, blah, blah, blah. Which was affirmed when the Supreme Court refused to hear it, and in which the ADL had filed an amicus brief. So, the ADL was not involved in this case, Doe versus Human, but they said we have a strong interest in this case. And so they filed information to influence the judge in his decision. These people are dirty, man. They're just dirty. It resulted in the school system of Gravette, Arkansas, having to end the practice of released time for religious instruction in the schools on a voluntary basis, requiring parental approval. So the ADL stuck their nose in some people's business The people wanted the kids to have release time where they can go and study their religion. And the ADL said, it's not Judaism, so you can't have it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, I just learned there a little bit. Yeah, Mel Gibson had some balls, didn't he? Oh my God. Hey, did you guys hear? I just heard it for the first time yesterday. Mel Gibson talked about blood libel and blood sacrifice as it pertains to Jewish people. Ooh, it's no wonder they attacked his ass. No wonder at all. Alright. So, ADL files an amicus brief, and they succeeded in taking away release time for religious instruction in the schools on a voluntary basis, where it wasn't mandatory. Just a voluntary basis. They took this right away from them for religious instruction in the schools requiring parental approval. So they took that away from them. It wasn't mandatory. It was, you had to sign up for it and you had to get approval from your parent, and the ADL said you can't even have that. So they tore religion away from the schools. They tore it away from anything to do with government. It's just a disgrace. The more I learn, the more angry I get, says Not a Bear, and there feels like no hope anything can possibly change. 98% of people don't want to hear it. I agree with about 98% of that, but I will say, don't let them defeat you before you try. Do not feel powerless. I understand. I feel sometimes pessimistic too. But, blunt man, tell them. Tell them. They tried to ban kratom 2 years ago. The DEA was trying to schedule kratom, a supplement, a natural supplement, as a drug because it competed with the pharmaceutical industry. And guess what? We rallied together. We gave some money to the American Kratom Association. The American Kratom Association gave some money to Congress people. We lobbied. We went down to D.C. with our picket signs, and we picketed, and we called senators. We called Congress people. We emailed. We sent letters. And guess what? For the first time ever, the people won against the DEA, and we stopped them. So I got a little victory under my belt, so I'm not pessimistic anymore. If the people get together and we bombard senators and Congress people with real letters, with emails, with phone calls, showing up there and picketing outside the goddamn congressperson's office, it can be done. It really can be done. And I mean anything. So, like, don't expect you're going to elect a congressperson and then you can just forget about it, let them do what they want to do, and think that your interests will be served. You got to stay on them, you got to hound them, and you will get what you want if you got enough people and you scream loud enough. Remember, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Don't forget that. Stay positive. Stay positive, guys. It can be done. I understand the half-empty outlook. I understand the pessimism. God, I'm on a roll tonight. Just call me Butter. So, here we go. In its pamphlet, ADL in the Courts, Litigation Docket 1991, the ADL states that this storytime program in Gravette, quote, presents at least two inescapable infringements on the Establishment Clause, impermissible inclusion of religion in the public schools, and forbidden state indoctrination of a particular faith. Right? So they don't ever quit. Our enemies never quit trying to get what they want. They never get pessimistic. Of course, they have limitless funds. But we got to be just as determined. We got to use the same tricks they use. It can be done. Whatever we want can be done within reason. So, Paul D. Human. That just sounds like a fake YouTube name, doesn't it? Hey, I'm Paul the Human. The superintendent of schools in Grivet told a reporter for Executive Intelligence Review, that's EIR, that's the people who wrote this book. This guy, Paul D. Human, superintendent of schools in Grivet, told a reporter for EIR, quote, by such cases, the stage is being set for a one-world religion. Kids are being brainwashed to death by the New Age religions, and it has become harder and harder to take a Christian stand. There is no question but that the real agenda of groups like the ADL, remember, this is a superintendent of schools talking, the real agenda of groups like the ADL is to usher in the New Age. The more the New Age is brought in, the lesser the boundaries on moral action. If it's right for you, it's right is the guideline of the New Age. Unquote. Number 2, parochial aid. The question of public aid for parochial schools was the centerpiece of the Everson decision written by Justice Hugo Black, and there have been dozens of parochial aid suits since then. For over 30 years, one of the ADL's strongest allies in such cases has been Americans United for Separation of Church and State. According to the managing editor of the Scottish Rite Journal, Dr. John Boather. Okay, that's a fucked up ass name, I'm not gonna lie. Managing editor of the Scottish Rite Journal, Dr. W. Boather, Sovereign Grand Commander C. Fred Kleineknecht. What's with these fucking names? Are they just trying to fuck with me? Commander C. Fred Kleineknecht relied heavily upon the staff of Americans United for Separation of Church and State to write his call to arms in the November 1991 issue defending Jefferson's Wall of Separation, which Kleineknecht calls, quote-unquote, the cornerstone of the Constitution. Woo! So, they're making a big deal out of this wall of separation. They're saying it's the cornerstone of the Constitution. No, it's not the cornerstone of the Constitution. The cornerstone of the Constitution is the fact that we, the people, took some of our rights and enumerated certain rights to the government, and all the other rights we reserve to ourselves. By the way, serious question, guys. Listen up just for a second. And, Blunt Man, I need to hear your honest opinion on this too. Alright, you ready? How many people agree? Yes, I know about the Pope, and he was going to expose what they were doing, and 33 days later, bye-bye. They have assassinated many popes. Here's my question. Of the people who swear to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, have actually read the Constitution? How many have even bothered to read the Bill of Rights? How can you swear to uphold a Constitution you haven't read? If you are in a position like a police or military, what do you guys think about this? And you swear to uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, should you not be at least tested on your knowledge of the Constitution? Anybody? Grilla Vanilla Rilla says it's a joke. Are you referring to what I'm talking about? Or okay, yeah, I swear to uphold the Constitution. Here's how it goes, right? I'll put my hand on this Bible that I haven't read, And I will swear my right hand to defend this Constitution that I haven't read either. It's a joke one written by Freemasons, but what you need to do is look up the new laws they passed. That's true. Effectively, the Constitution has been overridden by all these new laws that they've passed. But you don't have any rights unless you know what they are, right? Not a bear. The new laws are the Patriot Act, the NDAA, and you know when they pass a bill in the Congress, they attach certain things to it. Bluntman's right. Yeah, you don't own shit. You don't own your house. We have no rights. That's true. But if we did stand up en masse, we could maybe get that shit off. You know what I mean? But the thing is how do you swear to uphold something you haven't read? When people swear on the Bible in court, how many of them have read it? How many Christians who swear their life to the Bible and say, this is the good book, I swear this Bible, and as a matter of fact, you should be a Christian too. And as a matter of fact, you, my kids, should swear your life to this Bible, but they haven't read it. Look, I was a Christian, and I know we would go to church, and the pastor would say, turn to Matthew chapter 4, verse 5, and you turn, and he would read this one little verse, and then he would talk for half an hour about this little verse, right? And then everybody closes their Bibles up and goes home, puts it on a shelf, and hasn't read it. Guys, I'm having a good time. Let's get back to it. Alright. Bocher is himself a member of the National Advisory Council of Americans United Against Church and State that has worked closely with the ADL. Another collaborator of Americans United is Greg Ivers, who wrote the recent ADL call to arms, which parallels that of Supreme Commander Kleinknecht, titled Lowering the Wall, Religion and the Supreme Court in the 1980s. How many think that Commander Kleinknecht is Jewish? Where are we? Okay. The full import or the full importance of Judge Black's membership in the Southern jurisdiction's New Age religious cult emerges in a letter that 33rd degree Mason and Grand Prior of the Supreme Council Scottish Rite, Mikkeljær H. Licklider. Where do they get these guys with these fucking names? Huh? Where do they get them? Come on, man. Wrote to Justice Harold Burton 2 years after Everson. Period. The letter described Licklider's pilgrimage to the tomb of Jacques de Molay. All right, stop. Who knows who Jacques de Molay is? Blunt man, I'll give you a hint. Friday the 13th. Jacques de Molay. Out of order, out of chaos comes order. Anybody? Jacques de Molay and Friday the 13th. Killed in France, that's correct. He was burned to death at the stake because the Vatican was purging Freemasons. They all were being run out of France and Spain. And where did they run? Scotland. And that's where you get the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Guys in the hood, what's up? What's up, my man? It's good to see you. Dude, that intro to your videos with Hitler and the other dude bouncing in the car. Oh, man, I had to watch that. The first time I saw that, I had to watch it like 8-9 times in a row. Get the music like this. He's got the bling on. That shit is fucking hilarious, bro. All right. Welcome to the chat. Mr. Goys in the Hoods. Alright, you're very welcome here, my friend. Jacques de Molay was set on fire. Then when King Louis XVI of France was executed in 1793 by these guys, the Jacobins, who were the Illuminati, who were put up to it by Rothschild. It always comes back to the same fucking people. Every time. It's insane. By the way, this is a good book too. It shows how Jews went in and destroyed black music and destroyed black people, making them into the degraded and debauched people that a lot of them are today. And it's a goddamn shame. You know? Whatever happened to Earth, Wind, and Fire? Come on, man! United States founding fathers well knew the seditious nature of the Scottish Rite, which President George Washington, in a letter to Minister G.W. Snyder, I just had that up today, denounced for its diabolical tenets and for having unleashed the pernicious principles of the Jacobin mob during the French Revolution. Alright, what is sedition? What is sedition? Isn't that going against your government? Let's see. Sedition. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or a monarch. So when they said right here that the seditious nature of the Scottish Rite, what are they saying? They're saying that the Scottish Rite got people to rebel against their countries. And when they talk about this pernicious principle, what is pernicious? Pernicious means evil, right? Let's take a look. Pernicious, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. I did not know that. So pernicious is creeping evil, right? Okay, there we go. Now we can read and understand what we're reading. The United States founding fathers well knew the seditious nature of the Scottish Rite, which President G. Dubs, in a letter to Minister G. Dubs Snyder, denounced for its diabolical tenets. What are tenets? Tenets are belief, core beliefs of a doctrine, right? Let's check it out. Tenets. A principle or belief, especially one of the main principles of a religion or a philosophy. Alright guys, we are learning here. Whenever you go back to the 1700s, they use big words. And that's just the way it is. So, the pernicious principles of the Jacobin mob during the French Revolution. Okay, number 3, prayer. How many we got in here? 38. Guys, bravo. Bravo, we are holding an audience here. Guys, I really appreciate you checking me out, man. Every little bit helps. Don't forget the sub. Hit the bell. Flick my bean. You know what I'm saying? Work my speed bag. Hook it up, right? Little tip. A little tip for you guys. When you go to someone's videos, comment, vote. It doesn't matter, up or down. It shows interaction with the video. Favorite. A lot of people forget that. So if you're on your boy's channel and you love him, favorite, vote it up, comment, and share. Obviously share, because that will get videos noticed. And with all this banning from the ADL, all this shadow banning dog shit, we need to do everything we can to support all our people. Guys, if you're creating any content, throw up a 1 in the chat right now. And I will, yeah, shares are important. And I will promote your channel. Gooooys in the Hood, I got you. Hold on, let me find out. Go to your channel. Alright, I'm going to throw up Gooooys in the Hood right now. Alrighty. There you are. Gooooys in the Hood. Gooooys in the Hood. Alright, that's Gooooys in the Hood. He's making content. Anybody else making content so I can promote you? That's what you call spamming. Yeah, sub him up. Go to Goooooys in the Hood, support him, sub him up, favorite, give him a thumb, work his speed bag, flick his bean, do what you gotta do. You're welcome, brother. Absolutely, we help each other out around here. So, that should get you a couple subs anyway, right? And by the way, do you have a Patreon, Goooooys? Let me know. Hit 1 if you got a Patreon, 2 if you don't. Because anybody making content, I want to support you guys. No? Go ahead and make one, brother. I'll be your first guy. I'll give you $10 a month right off the door. Get everybody encouraged to start doing it. Make a Patreon. We should all support each other. Not only sharing and thumbing it up, flicking each other's bean, but we should also hook each other up with a little bit of do-re-mi. You know what I'm saying? What's $10 anymore? Can't even get a pack of bubble gum and a soda. Oh, come on, Kool-Aid. Don't take Earth, Wind, and Fire from me, man. Come on. Can't a brother have anything bad? I know. You're right. Have you seen their album covers, too? I checked out some of their album covers. I was like, oh, shit. Man, I don't need to look it up. I know that shit. It is true. I know. Come on, Blunt Man. Bringing all this knowledge over here, bringing me down. All right, well, you tell me, what black music can I listen to? Let's just say that. What can I listen to? Can I listen to Al Jolson or some shit? No, wait, that's a Jewish guy acting black. None. All right. Damn, just shit all over my parade. Come on. Bye. All right, let's get back to this text. We're almost there. All right, let's see here. Prayer. Number 3, prayer. These wall of separation cases began in the early 1860s. Oh, hold on. Let me check the chat. What did you say, Goooooys in the Hood? Accept my friend's request on Discord. Yeah, absolutely. Send it. Put a link on one of my videos. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't I make you a mod? All right, there you go. You're a mod. So go ahead and you can throw a link up. All right. Blunt Man, you know I got to make Blunt Man a mod. That's my boy. So Blunt Man, you got the power of the wrench, my brother. Your name is now blue. That means if you see people posting shit that's, look, I don't want any hatred. I don't want any racist shit. I don't want any anti-Jewish shit. It's enough to expose them this way. Know what I'm saying? You're welcome, guys. So if you see anybody doing that shit, just put them on a timeout. I don't really want to ban people. Just spank them and make them be good. You know what I mean? I don't want to ban people. I ain't into banning and shit. But you guys, with the wrench, you can put links in there too. So Kool-Aid, if you got any cool links for me to check out, you can toss it in there now, brother. All right. Prayer. These wall of separation cases began in the early 1960s, and they continue today. In the interim, the Supreme Court, with the full approval of the ADL, has been involved in banning non-denominational prayer to a monotheistic God, that means one worship of one God, voluntary prayer, and silent prayer in schools, courtrooms, and at other federal, state, and local government functions. In a related case in which the ADL filed an amicus brief in 1961, again, we know what an amicus brief is. It's when you're not a litigant, but you let them know in an appellate case, you let the judge know some shit about pertinent facts, and you have to have an interest, a strong interest in the case. So in a related case in which the ADL filed an amicus brief in 1961, Torcaso versus Watkins, the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional for people seeking public office to be required to take an oath that they believe in the existence of God. All right? All right, cool. Let me click that link so I can hook it up on Discord. All right. The goooooys in the hood has invited me. All right, I got it now. I'm new at Discord, so I have no idea what the fuck's going on. All right, cool. Cool. All right, I gotta mute it. There we go. There we go. All right, goooooys in the hood, thank you. All right, so don't worry, we're getting there, guys. In 1963, so the Supreme Court ruled it unconstitutional that people seeking public office should be required to take an oath that they believe in the existence of God. It used to be that way. Not no mo. Welcomer. Shit. I guess I could just mute this way. Can you guys still hear me? Give me a 1 if you guys can still hear me, please. You can hear me? Okay. Thank you. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? What do we got going on here? I'm fucking getting tired, I'll be honest. Okay. So 1963, with School District of Abington Township versus Shemp. Is that like one of the Stooges? They tore that nigga's hair out? Is that what that is? Supreme Court agreed with the ADL's amicus agreement that Bible reading at the start of a school day is unconstitutional. In the recent case of Kenneth Roberts versus Kathleen Madigan, as we shall see, the Supreme Court affirmed the decision of the 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals that banned the Bible from being in the schoolroom unless a teacher hid it in his desk. That's fucked up. You see how important the Supreme Court is in light of what's going on with this Kavanaugh creep? I'm not saying that because he's righty and I'm a lefty. I'm not either. I'm not lefty, not righty, but they're all crooked. I come from the blunt man school of equal hatred for all. You understand me? Alright. Where are you guys? I gotta be able to see the chat. Okay. Live dashboard. Hey, you're welcome, bad boy. My pleasure. I'm running out of steam here. The old man is running out of steam. So let's see. We got to finish this up. You see how important the Supreme Court is now. Not that you didn't know before, but you see. Okay, so if the teacher's got a Bible, he's got to hide it in the fucking desk. That's where we're at. If a locality wants to have the religion in the classroom, I'm fine with it. If I don't like it, I can move to a different town and put my son or daughter in a different school. But people should be able to do what they want in their own town. It's fucked up. In its pamphlet, Friend of the Court, which one of these days I gotta bring that up, the ADL argues that it is seeking to help the government completely out of religion. Is seeking to keep the government completely out of religion and vice versa, lest the Jewish minority be overwhelmed by a Christian majority. Oh, God forbid. How about Christian minorities in Israel amongst the Jewish majority? Yeah. Wait, let's not talk about that. Pay attention, Goy. Don't worry about what we're doing over here. The horrible consequences, quote, the horrible consequences of an officially sponsored religion can be seen in the Crusades and in one of the darkest periods in Jewish history, the Spanish Inquisition. Okay, hold on. I'm getting tired, but I gotta point this out. Number one, the Crusades were a response to Islam. Islam was blowing up like nitro. Alright? They had already attacked Spain, North Africa. They were attacking through where modern day Turkey is. The Crusades were not just we want to kill Muslims. It was a response to an attack. Number two, the what did they call it? The let me look. How could I forget? Ah, yes, the Spanish Inquisition. It had a little more to do with just torturing people for no reason. What was going on then is that they were having problems with Jews in their country. Not only did they have to throw them out and all, but they decided that they could also force Jews to convert to Christianity. But the Jews, called Moranos, which literally meant pigs, Moranos would secretly keep their Judaism. Now, I can see their side of it too, right? If I was forced to change my religion, I would secretly keep my old religion too. But it wasn't just because they wanted to pick on Jewish people. Anti-Semitism did not just grow out of the ether. It was a response to a problem. Okay? That's the way it goes. Now, the Inquisition was to suss out which guys were actually Christians and which ones were secretly Moranos or Conversos or what we know as crypto Jews, which Christopher Columbus was most likely a crypto Jew. They all had Spanish names like Aaron Lopez, who ran the slave ships in Newport, Rhode Island. They had to make sure these people were actual Christians. So, while the Spanish Inquisition was crazy, and yes, they were doing crazy shit and torturing people, there was a purpose to it, like it or not. Yes, Moranos. Back to the text. The horrible consequences of an officially sponsored religion can be seen in the Crusades. So they're saying religion is bad because the Crusades and Inquisition. The ADL works to ensure a strict separation of church and state so as to protect minority religions. Judaism is a central concern for the League. Ugh, makes me want to vomit. But the ADL's hostility, rather than being directed against Christianity, is actually directed against the entirety of the Judeo-Christian tradition, demonstrated when the ADL filed amicus briefs to ban display of the Ten Commandments in the classroom in cases paralleling the school prayer issue. So they were under attack everywhere. They were attacking Christianity everywhere. Perhaps the most iconic or ironic case, given the ADL's claims to represent Jewish interests, was its stand... where am I? I'm sorry. Perhaps the most ironic case, given the ADL's claims to represent Jewish interests, was its stand in the 1980 Ten Commandments case, Stone versus Graham, where the plaintiffs challenged a Kentucky statute which required the posting of the Ten Commandments in each school classroom. So, Kentucky had a rule that they had to post the Ten Commandments in every classroom. All right? The ADL ended up fighting a small print statement after the last commandment, which read, whoa. The secular application of the Ten Commandments is clearly seen in its adoption as the fundamental legal code of Western civilization and the common law of the Supreme Courts. In November 1980, the ADL agreed with the Supreme Court's decision that this was unconstitutional. Wow. Just, they're attacking every little aspect. Number 4, Christmas carols, hymns, and spirituals. Can't say Merry Christmas anymore. It's Happy Holidays. Nearly all of these song forms, which are a most efficient prophylactic, that's a protection, to protect children from the horrors of the rock, drug, sex counterculture, and are a bridge to classical music, have been all but banned with the agreement of the ADL from public schools. So, can't have Christmas carols now anymore. Can't have hymns and spirituals, which were some of the clean things which protected kids against this debauchery and depravity that the ADL has helped to usher in our movies and in our culture, our mass media, in our music, everything. Everything has been degraded and depraved. Degradation, depravity, debauchery. The 3Ds, the DDD. And this, at least, was something to keep a little bit of the traditions alive so that the kids will have an option. Today's kids, they are bombarded with depravity. And that's all they have. That's all they know. And it's sick. It's sad. One recent case, Fleury versus Sioux Falls School District 49-5, grew out of a 1978 school board policy which allowed the singing of Christmas carols, the performance of religious plays, and the display of religious symbols in Sioux Falls public schools. We're talking Idaho, people. Can't have it. Not allowed. ADL. Shut it down. That's all they are, is shut it down. Although the ADL filed amicus briefs at the level of the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals and with the Supreme Court, the latter refused to hear the case, thereby affirming the decision of the appeals court that such actions were constitutional, much to the dismay of the ADL. Hey, one for the good guys, eh? You know what I'm saying? Forget about it. Come on, man. Number 5, Equal Access Act, the EAA. Another decision that drew cries of alarm from both the ADL and the New Age Southern jurisdiction that the quote-unquote wall was being lowered, involved the EAA, the Equal Access Act. What is that? In a June 4th, 1990 press release, the ADL said, quote, "The Supreme Court decision today upholding the Equal Access Amendment erodes the wall separating church and state." Good. The case, Board of Education of West Side Community Schools versus Mergens, involved the efforts of a student, Bridget C. Mergens, to have equal access to school facilities for a Christian Bible study club. Good. Good. They should have access to what they want. It's fucked up, right? It's just not right. It's not right. Let me see if I could check this chat real quick. Good night. Somebody's dropping out. All right, Nebula. Good night, Marge. I'll catch you tomorrow. Say hi to the hubby for me, will you? What do we got? Columbus was a Murano. 33. We're still holding 33 strong. They're dropping out, but hey, GDL going strong, baby. I'm fucking whooped. I'm not even going to lie. But I will stick it out until we get to the end of this chapter. Hooey. So the court, chalk one up for the good guys. Oh, yes. Sheckelson, absolutely. The protocols are super important. Matter of fact, I got an epiphany. An overwhelming idea of understanding all at one point when I read Protocol 1 and 2. You know what it said? It said, we will take from the Goyim their religion and their monarchies. So say what you want about kings and queens. They were our number one protection against these communists and these people, the Jacobins, who took over and destroyed our religion, destroyed our monarchy. These were the things that bound people together, that protected us. And the other thing they said was that might makes right. I've always felt that. I've felt like that's horrible, right? Because I've read a lot about history. And time again, what's right doesn't matter. Might makes right. People didn't conquer. The reason that we're the most powerful country in the world, it's not because we have the best morals or we have the best form of government. It's because we can kick everyone's ass. That's the truth. Now, they said that in Protocols 1 and 2, that might makes right. So, how do we fight the ADL? With no holds barred. How do they fight us? Do they have Did they have any qualms about fighting us? Did they have any qualms about stooping to the lowest levels to attack us in all regards? Did they have any problems calling us racist, making the races fight each other? Did they have any problems taking our religion away from us, degrading us like animals? Did they have any problem calling us out? Does the left have any problem about attacking us? No. It's only us who are on the right, more so on the right, because I don't really take any labels, but it's only us who try to hold a higher standard, and we say, well, I don't want to stoop to their level. Fuck that. Fuck that. We need to stoop to their level. We need to not have no fucking rules as far as attacking them. This is a war. Might makes right, and we need to do whatever it takes. We need to fight fire with fire. All right? Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. We need to take their tactics and flip the script on them. Okay, you want to call me a racist? Fine. I'm a racist. You want to call me whatever you want? You can call me I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I had an epiphany when I read the protocols. All right? Fire, baby. That's right. Fight fire with fire, baby. All day long. All day long. I really mean that. So, yes, we're going to get to the protocols. Absolutely. Good point. Good point. Okay. Okay, so this Bridget C. Mergens got the right to have equal access to school facilities for a Christian Bible study club. According to the ADL release, quote, the court held that student-sponsored religious clubs in public high schools do not violate the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. In its amicus brief, the ADL argued that the EAA was unconstitutional. That's the Equal Access Act. ADL said you can't have that. It's unconstitutional since it involves the public schools promoting religious activities impermissible from the standpoint of the cult dogma underlying the wall of separation opinion of Justice Hugo Black. But that's not true. The school was not promoting one religion over another. The school was letting them choose. This was a voluntary situation. This was not, they weren't forced. Okay? In its 1991 ADL in the Courts pamphlet, the ADL describes its amicus brief as having argued the following, quote, the brief contended, this amicus brief that they filed with the court in 91, the brief contended that both the legislative history of the EAA and the language of the statute itself revealed its impermissible religious purpose. Bullshit. The EAA arose following several unsuccessful legislative and constitutional initiatives to promote religion in the public schools. When these efforts failed, Congress adopted the free speech analysis from Widmar versus Vincent, 454 U.S. 263, 1983. That's all lies, characterizing student religious activity as a protected form of free expression. Guys, that's a lie. When they said that they were promoting religion in schools, that's bullshit. This was totally voluntary. What particularly disturbed the ADL was not the fact that they're gangsters and racist. It was that granting Christian clubs equal access to school facilities where there was an open forum for the debate of often competing ideas, the Supreme Court, in upholding the EAA, had somehow given undue emphasis to the free speech clause of the First Amendment over the Establishment Clause interpretation of Justice Black. So, they are saying that when the school or the Supreme Court upheld the Equal Access Act, it gave undue emphasis to the free speech clause above and beyond the Establishment Clause. Well, if you ask me, free speech is more important. And this was voluntary. Religious symbols. Let's attack those too. As a result of adjudication, that means to judge. As a result of adjudication since the Everson decision, it has become unconstitutional for schools and governments to celebrate Christmas or other Christian holidays with the display of such religious symbols as crosses, nativity scenes, or depictions of Jesus. Instead, what must be substituted are Santa Claus, reindeer, and Christmas trees, which are of a secular nature and tend to substitute the material aspect of gifts rather than the religious significance of the founding of Christianity with the birth of Christ. Oh my God. Oh, I got a fucking headache. The ADL has participated in a number of such cases. Among the recent ones described in its 1991 ADL in the Courts pamphlet is Doe versus Small, 934 F2D 743, 7th Circuit, 1991, quote, "At issue in this case was the constitutionality of a public park display of numerous large paintings depicting scenes from the life of Jesus Christ," unquote. The ADL wrote an amicus brief in this case from Ottawa, Illinois, saying that the local government's assistance to the JCs in preparing the annual display, including the use of public land, violated the quote-unquote wall of separation. Writes the ADL, quote, "The brief contended that the city is not merely acknowledging or celebrating Christmas, but that it is instead supporting Christianity," unquote. Bullshit. Yet in the case of American Jewish Congress versus City of Beverly Hills, case number CV 90-6521, when the American Jewish Congress filed suit against the Lobovichers for erecting a menorah to celebrate Hanukkah on public property, the ADL worked out a compromise whereby the menorah could be displayed along with a large Christmas tree on land that did not face public buildings. Wow. So, they said, you want to fuck with us? We'll take out your menorah, right? Yet in the case of American Jewish Congress, the AJC filed suit against the Lubovichers for erecting a menorah to celebrate Hanukkah. Wait, the AGC filed against other Jewish people for erecting a menorah to celebrate Hanukkah on public property. So they worked out a compromise where the menorah can be put up as long as there's a Christmas tree. Wow. What the hell's going on in our country? Number 5, banning the Bible. On June 29th, 1992, the Supreme Court let stand a ruling in the case of Kenneth Roberts versus Kathleen Madigan and Adams, County School District number 50, that the Constitution prohibits an elementary public school teacher from silently reading the Bible to himself while his students read secular books. Wow. The court declined to review a decision of the 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals that Kenneth Roberts, a 5th grade public school teacher teaching in a suburb of Denver, violated the Constitution. The Constitution by reading the Bible to himself during the classroom's silent reading period. Ugh, sickening. The 10th Circuit had ruled that even having the Bible on top of the teacher's desk in view of the students violates the First Amendment, and Roberts had been forced to hide the Bible in his desk after he was admonished by the principal, Kathleen Madigan. The appeals court also ruled it unconstitutional for Roberts to include 2 Christian books, the Bible in Pictures and the Story of Jesus, in his 240-volume classroom library, among such other books as Tom Sawyer, The Wizard of Oz, and Charlotte's Web. Jesus Christ. The ADL filed an amicus brief with the 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to quote ADL in the courts. Quote, ADL's brief argued that the district court properly denied the injunctive relief when it determined that Roberts was using his role as a teacher to advance religion in violation of the Lemon Establishment Clause test. ADL argued that the Supreme Court has recognized repeatedly that to impressionable schoolchildren, religious activities in the public schools convey the message of government-sponsored sponsorship of religion. This is particularly true when a teacher reads from the Bible in front of his students. Holy shit. Holy shit. However, as even the ADL had to acknowledge, quote, one of 3 judges in the Court of Appeals panel disagreed with it, charging that the school was converting the Establishment Clause into governmental disapproval, disparagement, and hostility toward the Christian religion. Well, I hope we're getting there because I'm whooped. I think this is the last part. Okay, we're on to the last part next. Holy shit. Let's check the chat. Looks like somebody's connecting here nicely. Where? Okay. Polymorphous patrons. Can anybody guess what polymorphous means? Alright. What does poly mean? Poly means many, right? Morphous means having shape. So many shapes. Right, many. So if something is amorphous, that means it's without shape, right? Let's test that theory. So this is how I recognize words, by looking at the prefixes and the other bodies, the main body of the word. So let's see. Amorphous means without shape, right? Without a clearly defined shape or form. So morph means to change shape, right? To change smoothly from one image to another. Okay, undergo, cause, gradual process of change. But morphous means a shape. No? Okay. So polymorphous means having many shapes. Polymorphous. Polymorph. Polymorphous. Polymorphous perversity? What? Let's see. Polymorphism. The condition of occurring in several different forms, right? Alright, there you go. So, the next portion is polymorphous patrons. Oh, I am fucking dead tired. Guys, let's check the chat. Mass One and Phoebe, y'all need to rent a room. I'm serious. It just, like, I'm just kidding. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. OMAC wants to know, what puzzles me about this page is why should we go in depth so much in studying their shit? We only need eyes to see. Anybody can basically see what's going on. Well, the number one answer is I'm a nerd, right? So I like detail. For me, the details are what life is about. Number 2, know thy enemy. Know thy enemy's tricks. Know thy enemy's history. Know thy enemy's past, so you can better predict what thy enemy is going to do in the future. Okay? Number 3, these are the motherfuckers that are telling me that I'm racist, and they are telling me that I can't have an opinion on stuff or I'm racist, and they're going to tell me about morality. This shows everybody what the fuck is going on. and how hypocritical they are. The details show to what extent these motherfuckers are scandalous, right? They are sociopaths and psychopaths, just like you just said. So, I love you too, Mass One. I don't even know if you're a boy or girl. I still love you anyway, platonically speaking. Mile High, what do you say, Mile High? Where you been, brother? I'm assuming you're a man. How crazy was it that guy deleted your super chat earlier tonight, too? Oh, he deleted it? That son of a bitch. Did I get my $2 back? All you said was, we love everyone. Right. It's crazy how they... Well, you know what? Somebody else in the chat, somebody else watching were reached. You know what I mean? So, that's the way I see it. When talking to our people, it's good to have an immediate response to every, well, what about blank when talking to our people? Yes, is that another reason for going so in-depth into this stuff? Yes, I agree. I agree. I bet OMAC, you're at least a little curious at how detailed this shit goes. Plus, I've been studying this this Jewish question for about 10 years now. And I've got all these disparate, disconnected facts lurking over here, another one lurking over here. And then I feel you too, brother. And when I get that one fact that connects it, I'm like, ooh, yeah, I see now. Plus, knowing our enemy could give us a better idea of how we can attack back, too. Alright, so, real quick. Mile High. This is what I wanted to tell Truth tonight. I wanted to say HT9, if I was on the phone with him and talking to him, I would say, listen, we got 150 people going into a chat. If everybody puts up $2, a $2 chat, it ain't going to hurt anybody. It's a pack of bubble gum, right? If we all, before we go in on a raid, before we even go in, we decide on what we want to say. So if it's only $2, you got to keep it under 50 characters. We'll figure out, let's say, please make a video on USS Liberty. Please make a video on the Lafont affair. If we come in 100 deep with $2 each and he gets 200 and he decides to say, fuck you, I just took your money, you're beat, that's fine. But he's going to look like an asshole in front of all his chat. Right? And so we played him out like a scratch-off ticket. Now, what did we lose? $2. I want my $2. What did we lose? We lost nothing. Right? But the people in the chat who see that their page they're subscribed to, number one, the guy's going to look like an idiot for disrespecting us and just taking the money and saying, fuck you. But they're going to look it up themselves. A lot of them will. I think it's a good idea. Thank you, Mile High. I just want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a leader, because if something happens to your leader, then you got lost sheep. Where's the shepherd, right? I want everybody to start making content. I want everybody to come up with ideas. Thank you, Mile High. I appreciate it. Let's get on Handsome Truth to have me on the show. I want to talk to him and share these ideas with him. Because what's to lose there, right? $2? And if he doesn't accept it, he looks like an asshole. It's a win-win-win. And he may just say yes, right? I'm going to make a video on the thing. You're gonna do well that way. Alright, give me a second here. I want to get a sip of water. I'm from New Jersey, so it's water here. Not water. And I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Literally. Alright. I'll leave you with the polymorphism definition. Oh, man, I'm tired. Oh, I'm fucking tired. Guys, real quick, I gotta take a poll. Right quick. Alright, in the chat. Just curious. Completely agree you need to be one of the leading voices. Thank you. I'll hit up HT9, encourage him to have you on. Yeah, I asked tonight, too, to see if he would have me on. I'll definitely do it for $2. I'll do it every night. I mean, what's to lose? If we really want to spread this message, I think it'll be very effective. Imagine we had 300 people. So if the asshole steals the $300, fuck him. Plus, I want everybody to make Patreon accounts, so we can all help each other out according to our means. If you're making content and you have a Patreon account, you should get some type of help, and we'll all help each other. We all promote videos. All right, give me a 1 if you're making content. Yeah, Mile High, it would be. Alright, let me drop some links. Pinhas Lavan. Is that Spanish? Pinhas Lavan. Lavon. Alright, let me bring up your channel. And then we got Mass 1. Go to the channel. Mr. Sheckelson. Mr. Sheckelson, okay. You got video? You don't have any content, Pinhas? Alright, I'll throw you a link anyway. Because I love you. I don't know who you are, but I love you. Alright, this is Pinhas Lavan. Pinhas Lavon. Lavon. Okay, there you go. Guys, give him a sub. Encourage him to make content. Mass 1. You got content. Mass 1. There you go. That's Mass 1. Everybody sub. Let me make sure I'm sub too. Alright, Pinhas. I'm subscribed. Mass 1. I'm subscribed. I thought I was subscribed. Sheckelson. I'm subscribed now. And we'll get your link there. It doesn't cost us anything to subscribe, right? Sheckelson. Hey, that was funny when they did that. We did that raid earlier, and the guy had the female computer voice reading out all the chats, and the one guy put something about shekels, and the computer voice is going shekels and shekels. That shit was funny. You guys had truth laughing. Ray says, I know this is a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. To most of you, but I'm able to create content of all I have is a phone. Yeah, you can, whatever you want to do. Let me, are you creating contact, Ray? Or contact, I'm tired. Content? Let me make sure I'm subscribed to you, Ray. Subscribe. Alright, I'm subscribed. Now you have to make content. Alright? No pressure. Not yet. Well, we'll subscribe to you and give you that encouragement. Let me put your link down. Sorry, I'm slow at this shit. There you go. Ray. Hey, yo, Ray. Phoebe. How many do we still... We got 25 people in here still? You guys are some fucking troopers. Some parapoopers. All right, this is what I wanted to ask. There was a poll. If you don't want to answer it, just put fuck you. Fuck you, Schmiel. But if you do, give me a number. How old is everybody in here? Just put your age. If you don't want to answer it, put FU. I'm thinking everybody is pretty much over 30 here. It's my guess, but I don't know. Okay, Phoebe's up there. Really? Okay, 59 for Ray. 32. 26. Okay. Mary says 56. 47, 63, 36. Okay. So we're not spring chickens. Maybe that's why we gravitate towards this nerd shit. Because I know when I was in my 20s, I wouldn't probably gravitate towards this. Sig Swiss, 28. James, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 29, and fuck you, he says. He says, I'm 29, but fuck you anyway. I like that. That's good attitude. Look, you see, you're messing with me now, but you see back there, James, I got a sword on the fucking wall there. Now, you know what I'm saying? Alright, guys. I was always a book geek. Phoebe says, nothing to do with age. I was too, but I probably wouldn't have gravitated more towards this. Alright, so, cool. Cool, just curious. I have been up all night researcher since I was a teenager. You're that type too, huh? Mass 1 says 35. Alright, so who's seniority here? Ping Haslavon. Ping Haslavon says, I got you all beat. Ray said, oh, not so fast. I'm creeping. It's all the same. Who's the spring chicken here? Censor's got that youth. But don't forget, like the great philosopher Charles Barkley once said, Father Time is undefeated. Father Time will catch your ass. Okay, let's finish it out, alright? Let's do it. We're almost there. Let's do it. Polymorphous patrons. Polymorphous patrons. Here we go. My last gasp of energy. Here we go. The ADL's hostility to the basic Judeo-Christian principles upon which the United States was founded is blatant. Its support for overly satanic or New Age alternatives to Judeo-Christian moral values, while less public, is also clear upon closer observation. The League's post-Matamoros efforts. Matamoros? Okay. Oh yeah, we read about that. The League's post-Matamoros efforts to sandbag Texas legislation against satanic-related crimes is one case in point. Another case in point is the ADL's involvement in one of the most outrageous instances of child sexual abuse in recent memory. Uh-oh. I hate to hear shit about that. The scandal began in Omaha, Nebraska, but eventually spread to Washington, D.C., implicating officials of the Reagan-Bush White House in after hours. Oh, it's the Franklin cover-up. I was just going to guess it. Guys, if you haven't seen that, you got to look into it. It'll make you want to vomit. Implicating officials of the Reagan-Bush White House in after-hours cavorting with male prostitutes. It has been the subject of thousands of pages of news coverage, several criminal trials, and one book, The Franklin Cover-Up, Child Abuse, Satanism, and Murder in Nebraska, by retired Nebraska State Senator and decorated Vietnam War hero John DeCamp. And guys, I had heard about this many times. Good night, Mass One. You sure you don't want to hang? I only got one half a page left. But the Franklin cover-up, you got to check it out. In late 1988, federal regulators moved in and shut the doors of the Franklin Community Federal Credit Union in Omaha. the institution had been looted into bankruptcy by its founder and manager, Larry King. No, not the Jewish Larry King, the black Larry King. King, a prominent black Republican Party activist, had been sponsored by some of the most powerful people in town, including the publisher of the only statewide daily newspaper in Nebraska, Harold Anderson, and one of the world's wealthiest men, drum roll please, investment broker Warren Buffett. Following the blowout of Franklin Credit, evidence began to surface that King, along with many of his prestigious local backers, was part of a VIP homosexual cult which regularly tortured and sexually abused area youth in pedophilic orgies. Further investigations linked King to Washington lobbyist and homosexual Craig Spence. When Washington bunco cops busted a male prostitution ring in the summer of 1989, Spence's name showed up all over the company's records as one of its biggest spending clients. Spence had high-level White House and GOP connections, and on several occasions had toured the president's home after dark in the company of corporate clients and homosexual prostitutes. According to several accounts, King and Spence were business partners in several callboy services. Back in Omaha, a mad dash to cover up the pedophile activities was launched by local FBI officials and the Omaha Chief of Police, Robert Wadman. That Wadman guy was a real fucking scumbag. He was in on it. I just have to let that out of the bag now. This Robert Wadman was in on it. Himself a member of the homosexual cult, there you go, according to numerous witness accounts. Ultimately, King was carted off to federal prison on bank fraud charges, and several efforts to get to the bottom of the pedophile ring were short-circuited. More questions remain unanswered, but one thing is certain. Alan Baer, a local Omaha multimillionaire and financial backer of the ADL, was personally caught red-handed in pedophile activities. In 1990, Baer was charged with pandering by local police. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge rather than face a jury trial with all the attendant media coverage. Baer's name came up repeatedly as a major player in the testimony of victim witnesses to the child abuse. The Allen and Marcia Baer Foundation was also listed as a source of money to several charities, including the Girls Club of Omaha, that were apparently victimized by the child abuse ring. The foundation also donates to the Gay Men's Health Crisis, Inc., in San Francisco, and the People with AIDS Coalition. Like that guy, Gary Cohn, or the guy Cohn who's related to, involved with Roger Stone. He died of AIDS. In December 1991, Alan Baer put up the money for a full-page advertisement, or as the British say, advertisement, placed by the ADL in several major newspapers. The ad, headlined, "Not all Nazis are living in South America, wink wink, nudge nudge," was a fundraising pinch for the ADL. Bad judgment on the part of the ADL, or merely one more instance of the ADL showing its true colors? You be the judge. Conspiracy of silence, amen, Ray Ray. Amen. Oh my God, I can't believe I made it. So tomorrow, the best government money can buy. Oh, dope money can buy. Holy shit. Guys, we did it. We made it. Now, I might cop out of playing this song for you tomorrow, alright? I'm whooped. Guys, tune in tomorrow. We'll do this. I'll play my song. It's just a funny song about an ex-girlfriend who smoked way too many cigarettes. And I made a little song for her. Alright, guys. Good night, Goyams. Goyams and Goyles. I'm cutting out. I'm not even talking anymore. I'm done. Do I look tired? I feel tired. Scrawny says play a song. Tomorrow, I will. I really will. Good night, guys. Scrawny, thanks for coming around. Good night, Ray Ray. Make some content. Alright, guys. Give you guys a sec to say goodnight to everybody. Look at all the love here at the GDL. Can you feel the love? Can you feel the love tonight? Gun GDL. Tuyo Schmiel. Come on, man. He says Scrawny. I'll give you a taste. This isn't the song, but it's a song I made for my cat that died. Alright, just a taste. Tomorrow I'll play the real song. Alright? GDL in the house. You saw the kitty video. I wondered, what's that mean? Did I do a kitty video? Oh, you mean maybe my cat was in one of my videos, you mean? Oh, okay, yeah. The gray one. That was my Marvin. He lived to be 20 years old. I had him for almost half my life. I got him at 24, and he died when I was 44. 2 years ago. 2.5 years ago. It was tough. I had to take him to get put down. I don't know what people mean when they say I couldn't do it again because it was tough. I'm sorry to hear that, Phoebe. But I would do it all again. Because the years of all that love and all them fun times, thank you, Nebula, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. I'll leave you guys with this. Life is like a big bag of weed that's fronted to you, right? And when it's all smoked up and gone, then you gotta pay up. Alright? You got 2 left? Good. That helps. That does help. They're the best. If you get a cat from when they're a kitten, they mold to your personality. You're welcome, Scrawny Raisin. Scrawny Ronnie. You like the analogy, Mile High? Alright, guys. I gotta cut it. I'm taking it down. I'll catch you later. Good night.